Hello, welcome, I'm Hannah, and I'm really excited about today's video. The whole idea is that I've been more interested this year in Kylie Cosmetics releases than I care to admit. They rebranded, everything's vegan. I know she sold like a large chunk of the company, and I just feel like they're just doing it right. So last week or 2 weeks ago, when they released the kind of imagery for the Wizard of Oz palette that hadn't been shown yet, I was really excited. It has this gorgeous artwork of Kylie in like a Dorothy dress, laying in a field with like this like rich red and rich green, and I was really excited to see the inside of it. And then when the inside of it was revealed, I was like, oh. Like, I like the idea of it. I knew that it would incorporate some neutrals, which I am into, but I just feel like it was lacking. I didn't like the like face products in it, like why? I didn't like the choice of the yellow background. Like, give us a yellow shadow. Don't make the palette the yellow brick road, because that's not the color that I was so excited to see in this palette. So that got me thinking that I wanted to see what I could do, how I would take the inspiration of her artwork and make that into a palette that like I'm excited about. And then on top of that, I thrifted this flannel the other day that I feel like is the exact color story that I was so excited about from her artwork. So I'm calling this my Wizard of Oz flannel. Also, on a flight I was just on, I watched a movie from 1950 called Father of the Bride, and I feel like I want to watch more old movies now, so I'm really excited to watch Wizard of Oz. I was going to the other night, but then my boyfriend was like, I love Wizard of Oz. I love The Wicked Witch. I want to watch that too. So we're gonna watch it together. So I hope that when I watch it, I'll be sitting there wearing my little flannel and my eyeshadows from this palette, and I'm going to have a grand old time. And I hope you have a grand old time watching as I use my single shadows to make the Kylie Wizard of Oz palette, but better. So let's switch over to my hands. After that, I am going to do this makeup look along with you. I hope you enjoy. Okay, I grabbed out a whole big stack of single shadow palettes and some magnetic palettes. I have my Instagram open to dupe that picture of the palette, so I can use that as kind of like a really loose reference. And I think I'm going to make my palette in this one. I don't really like this single shadow palette, but I do like the size of it, and I don't want this to be like the normal 5x5 size that I tend to do when I'm just cleaning this with my fingers, that I tend to do when I'm like just making a palette with no inspiration. But I still don't really know how big I want this palette to be. The Kylie one is a 12 pan and also has 2, I guess, face products in it, but I think mine's definitely going to be bigger than that. Okay, so one of my first thoughts is that I have this ColourPop little Cherry Crush palette. I featured this in a video a while ago. I can't even remember what the point of the video was, but I had decluttered the shimmers in it, and I really like these mattes, and I feel like some of these like cherry mattes really work for that kind of like burnt-ish red, that like not too like pinkish or on the nose red. And also this green seems really perfect. So I am going to pop, I guess, those 4 shadows out as kind of a starting point. I'll probably do what I normally do, which is pull out a bunch of shadows that seem like they could be good and then edit it down. The only bummer about these is like, I do like having the uniformness of the similar size pans, and these are small, but maybe I will also even just like space out the palette more, and that way it won't bother me so much. I did decide that I want to do the Yellow Brick Road. When I saw this palette announced, I like totally forgot about the Yellow Brick Road, and I was like, why does it have the yellow background? I still like artistically don't like the yellow background, and I'm kind of picky about yellows mixed in with other colors, but when I remembered about embellishment from Clionadh, I was like, we're doing the Yellow Brick Road. If it wasn't for the shadow, I feel like I would be happy to omit that part of the color story. I'm not trying to do every color that appears in the movie in this palette, but I do think this is like a perfect shade for it, and a shadow I'm really excited about. I also do really like how it looks next to reds. I had my eyes like that in a video a while ago. Maybe it was the one where I made a custom palette with my new Cleona shades or something like that. It was around that time, like 2 months ago or something. But I really like yellows with burgundies and deep reds. I feel like Verte, or I think this is Gecko from Menagerie, one of those could work for the green section. Like, I feel like Verte would look better in the palette. Gecko I'd be more excited to use. I might just leave them out for now and see if something grabs me more. Oh, and I guess I will pull this out. I'm not excited about having this big pan, but this is Give Me Glow Valentine's Red, and I feel like this is a really good, like, ruby slippers kind of color. So we'll keep that up for now. I mean, I guess I'll pull out the greens for now so I don't have to, like, go rummaging. And let's see if this is what I'm looking for. Shiggies. Space Baby. Yeah, I want Space Baby. I want to do, like, a little bit of very, like, neutral sky blue, but I thought Space Baby would be, like, a nice way to make it wearable but have a little bit more blue, but it wouldn't look so blue in the palette. I have a vision. This green looks really nice. This one is Dragon Slayer from Luxie. I really like that. And see, I have like this red, but this one's Harvest Moon from Terra Moons, who was part of that Urban Outfitter quad that I did an Ice Watch video earlier in the year. But like, doesn't Valentine's Red just look so much more appropriate than that one? This one looks like a little bit too grungy. I'm gonna take Moby out for now. I don't know if it's gonna stay, but I do want a little bit of that kind of like cool neutrals that Kylie has in hers, and I feel like that one might look good. And I'm also gonna take this green out for now. This is Emerald City. Is that a Wizard of Oz reference? If I watched the movie before making this, I would know that. But I'm gonna watch it after, and I'm gonna be watching this back and being like, yes, Hannah, you idiot, or no, Hannah, you idiot. I also do want to pull this one out for now. I don't know if it'll stay, but this is Oh Hannah from Luxie, and I feel like this would look so good with those like burgundy tones. I don't think Flight Club's gonna make it in here. No, don't think so. Sydney Grace. You know, these blues could work, but they are kind of like weird blues to use. I had pulled out Gloss Over for my Star Wars palette a while ago, and I like it. It's interesting, but like you really do need to like work around it. Our Starry Night is so good though. Okay, I'm gonna pull this one out for now, just for fun. Serenity palette. I like the shade of this blue, but I don't think I want that much blue, and I don't think it's gonna be the one. There are some green contenders, some matte neutral contenders. I'm gonna come back to this one. Oh, this is the remnants of my birthday palette, but I kind of feel like there's not that much crossover between the themes. I could, if anything, include this new Luxie one that I really liked, Gourd a Mercy, because I really didn't use it as part of my birthday palette. I am gonna stick this one in for now. This could be a green option. This is Asteria from Divina, which is just like this gorgeous grungy shade that I love, but it does have that like, that green in it. I'm gonna include that for now. Okay, and this is all mattes. I'm gonna grab out some greens. Maybe even this more neon one? I don't know, we'll see. I'm interested also in making the reds kind of like go towards this purple, but I feel like if I'm making it go towards this pink, then I don't know if it can go both directions, you know? So I'm gonna hold off on that. I almost skipped over Menagerie Cetacean, and that's one that I definitely want. I also really like the tone of this neutral here. Maybe this one too? I'll have to decide if those are too similar. I don't want to do neutrals that are like too cool or too warm. Oh, Wicked Witch. That one's definitely a Wizard of Oz reference, and I definitely want to include that one. This Crown Jewel from Cleona would be an option also if I don't want to include that Sydney Grace one. I'm also interested in just like a plain champagne-y neutral. This is Salted Caramel from Luxie. This is also like a ruby slipper option. Maybe I will include this one because I really just don't want this big one in there. And I feel like practically if I was going to use this every day, fine, but I don't think I'm going to. I gotta make room to put this in here. I could do this pink also. This is pixie dust instead of that other one. No, I think Ohana's still better. I think this one's too light. This is the rest of my new Luxie shades. I could be intrigued by like one of those greens or like that neutral. Like I feel like this does kind of fit into the color story because it is like red and green, but none of these are really like calling out to me. And then we just have the two bigger single shadow palettes. I don't know how many dark browns I need. I'm tempted by this one, but I also might grab something darker too. Okay, I feel like I am kind of covered by the greens right now. We're gonna rearrange this next and find out, but I don't feel like I need any of these green shimmers. Maybe I will pull out like a really dark brown. This one is Noche from ColourPop. I'm tempted also for like interesting shimmers, like whatever this is over here. Snickerdoodle. That would be cool, but I just don't know. Okay, I'll pull it out. Why not? And I'm gonna pull out a shimmery brown too, and then I'm ready to rearrange. Divina Trident. Okay, let's dissect this a little bit. I really do like the selection that I picked out. Okay, my first impression was that it was not the way I had envisioned it. And I still feel like, you know, like this doesn't look like something that Kylie would realistically release. And I think in my head, I was going to create something that like could have been the release. But like the more I look at it, I do really like it. I feel like it checks the boxes. And I feel like it'll be a really useful palette for me. It's not too expected. I like the addition of this kind of more like pinkish cherry color here. I like Snickerdoodle down there. I like the difference in the tones of the greens. I think you could really achieve like a ton of different looking looks with that. I like the separation between the warm and the cool. I think this is the palette. Okay, I'm about to swatch this out for you and then make a look with it, but I literally just got a Terra Moons order in the mail. It's only 2 shadows, but I'm excited, so let's open it up together. Since we're here, you know? I also don't think they're going to work in this palette. Like, I think maybe if the palette was like 100% literal small palette, red and blue or red and green, whatever it is, then it would have room to like go this off. But I do think the palette's kind of perfect the way it is. Ooh, these look nice. Wow. So this is from their most recent launch. I got Hyperspace because that looked like the it girl of the new launch, even though I'm nervous that it's going to be too deep for me or have too dark of a base. Wow, I kind of want to put that in, but I don't know how. And then I got Moon Mosaic, which I feel like I was taking a risk on. It looked really bright in some of the pictures, which I really liked. But then also it looked kind of dull, and like right now it looks kind of dull and dark. And that makes me nervous. Wow. After I bought it, I kind of wished I got Sublunar also, but I had my previous order on the way to me when I was making this order, and I thought Sublunar might be too similar to Solar, not Solar. Yeah. No. What's the name of the one that I got? Stellar Apotheosis. I didn't even look it up. I was about to, and then I remembered. But Stellar Apotheosis has such like a grayish blue base that I wasn't expecting, and I think it would have been different enough, but I digress. These are the two I got. Okay, I'll swatch them. Hyperspace. Okay. The shifts in that look so intense. Wow, but I am nervous about the base making it less wearable for me. And let's see Moon Mosaic. Yeah, look, I feel like I see the bright teal a little bit. I don't know if it's coming across in camera, but I see it with my eyes. But I want it to be that all the time. And I feel like I see that in it, but like it's a shift of it and it's not what it is. It's barely coming up at all in here. I'm gonna have to play with this one, but like the way I had envisioned in my head, I was like, this could be the shade I want to wear every day. Huh. All right, back to the video. I think if I really wanted to, I could take out Ohana and move these up. Let me just do it as an example. I don't know if I want to do it, but I am just thinking about Hyperspace. What you thinking about, Hyperspace? That does work there, because it looks so reddish in the pan. Oh, what a tough decision. Oh, that works too, but I do like this one. I'm trying to think there's any way to fit this one also, because it is a small one and I have these other small ones here, but I don't think I want to mess up the spacing like that. Oh, I really don't know what to do about this. I think I'm going to leave it like this for now because I am so excited about these shimmers, but like, I'm going to keep this nearby. And maybe in a couple days I'll swap it out or something. I guess I'll include this in the swatches, just because it's kind of like an honorary member of this palette. It like just got booted out. Okay, so we have Depotted ColourPop. Uh-oh, my cat's on her way. We have Luxie Ohana, Depotted ColourPop, Luxie Ohana, Adept ACI 13, Depotted ColourPop, Terramoon's Hyperspace, Pretties for Your Face Moby, Luxie Salted Caramel, Luxie Gorda Mercy, Depotted ColourPop. Cleona Embellishment, Menagerie Canis Lupus, Menagerie Pride, Divina Trident. Terramoon Space Baby, Menagerie Cetacean, Cleona Crown Jewel, Luxie Snickerdoodle. Terramoon's Fourth Dimension, Menagerie Gecko, Luxie Dragon Slayer, Depotted ColourPop. Luxie Emerald City, Divina Asteria, ColourPop Conjure Up, Luxie Wicked Witch, which doesn't swatch the best, but if you watched that Fairy Tales Eye Swatch video, you know it was out of this world. Wow, I really like it. I like this palette. I like kind of like the plethora of different greens. I like the addition of Hyperspace. I think that like I had a different vision of this than it is, and I think it looks more true red than I thought. And like, I think I'm fine not having that in here. I think like these four in that first red row are kind of fine. Ooh, I really like it though. I'm really excited to make a look with it now. I'm excited to keep making looks with it. Let's switch over to my eyes and see what I make with this. So do you think I could use Hyperspace without it like being the entire look? I guess that's what we're gonna figure out here. I put on my Anastasia eye primer, as I do. I already had makeup on before and I wiped it off. So if I'm looking a little, so if my face looks a little sad, that's why. I'm gonna start with Canis Lupus in my crease. I'm always surprised by how pigmented of a crease color this is. I actually didn't mean for this to be so pigmented off the bat. Do I want to start over? I actually think I'm going to switch the shade out, because this isn't like what I want my crease shade to do. Hold on a second. Okay, in the palette, I'm actually going to switch out Canis Lupus with Luxie Everything, which look pretty similar in the pan. It's just that Canis Lupus is so pigmented, and I need to remember that this is more of like a lower lash line transition, like somewhere that could handle more pigment. Or if I'm doing like a really light transition, this could be my second shade, because I feel like it is just a little bit too intense for me to go right in with. Usually I make it work if I need to. I'm not a perfectionist with my makeup, so it's fine, but like first thing, trying to do a look, trying to test out new shadows I'm excited about, I'm gonna switch to Everything. And then that does kind of like break up some of the square pans quite nicely. Yeah, that's more what I expected. For like my outer V, I want to go in with this darkest red Depotted ColourPop one. I was really tempted in the Terra Moons launch to get Moon Reverie also, but I stopped myself because I think it's like just like this shade. And I used to buy so many shades that like I could have known they were duplicates, and I'm just like sick of that. I'd rather just appreciate this one that I rarely use anyway, even though it's such a lovely color, than like just keep getting new shadows because they're new. So it's funny that I kind of forgot about that, and if I didn't just happen to be filming this video as those came, I wouldn't be using Hyperspace with the shadow that's just like the one that I originally planned to use it with, you know? I'm gonna go in with some Ohana and kind of like the inner part. It's such a gorgeous tone. And then I'm gonna go over that empty space with none other than Hyperspace. It kind of reminds me of Scream from the most recent Luxie collection also, but just like way more shifty. Oh wow. That actually kind of is like working in the look better than expected. Wow. I feel like it's also coming up like not too dark. Like I could imagine using this all over my lid and not looking like I have a black eye, which is how I look sometimes with black-based multichromes. Cool. Wow. That might be just about it for my lid right now. I'm gonna put on my base and be right back. Wow. Here's how we're looking right now with the base. I am really into Hyperspace, I'll tell you that. But here's my issue. My original thought was that I was gonna do a green lower lash line, maybe like this deeper matte into a brighter matte, something like that. But I feel like with kind of like the one-notedness of the upper lid, just the fact that it's like all like warm pinky red, I feel like the green would just be kind of like random. It would just be kind of like out of place. You know, I think maybe I'll start out the lower lash line like out, kind of extending this ColourPop one, and then put something else on the inner half that's maybe kind of like random, but it'll feel more connected because this will be a common thread. I think I'll do that. Maybe also I'll use Moby as like my transition down there, which is this one. It was a Pretties for Your Face shade that I really liked, and although it's kind of like satiny, I like using it like a matte. Okay, so we're gonna start with Moby. Oh, it's such like a cool mushroom color. I really like it. That looks so good. I need to do more looks and just put this on my lower lash line. When in doubt, Moby it out. That's what I always say. Cool. Okay, now we'll go in with that dark ColourPop one. I'm going to try to be really careful because I think this shade has a little bit of fallout. So I kind of am just sliding it a little bit more than usual. Usually I would kind of like buff it a little bit more. But like, yeah, like this whole situation here I feel like is kind of like the result of fallout from that. Alright, cool. Now what else do we put? Maybe I'll do Wisteria, because when I'm looking at it, like I see like a bronze copperiness to it also. It's like a really interesting transformative shade, and why not? I'll use the same brush. I'm in a same brush type of mood. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fun. I feel like that goes with Moby kind of surprisingly well also. Yeah, like it adds a different element, but it's not too stark. Cool. So since the only like iridescent inner corner shade I put in here was Space Baby, and I kind of don't want to introduce the blue, I'm gonna go with Salted Caramel. I recently was on vacation and I only brought warm toned inner corner shades, so I feel like that's why I didn't feel the need to put any in here. I'm kind of like warm inner corner shaded out. Okay, I'm going to apply my eyeliner, mascara, lips, that good stuff, and I'll be right back. Wow, this is the finished look, and I really like it. Really into it. For my liner, I used Urban Decay Wild Side. Cute. For my lips, I used my ColourPop Miha, which is just trusty and true. They don't make it anymore, and I'm just trying to get more use out of it before it dies, so that's what I used. I really like this look. I feel like this is my favorite look that I've made in a little while. I don't know when the last time I said that was, but I really like this look. I feel like I executed this brief. And when I say executed, I don't just mean like I did it. Like I feel like I'm the executioner, like I killed it. I just really like this color story. I'm so excited about this look. I'm so excited about the other looks that I'm going to create with this palette. I've said this before, but I just feel like when you either kind of like dupe out a palette or better dupe out a palette, which is what I set out to do today, it causes you to look at what you already own in a new light, and it keeps things fresh. Like, I don't think I would have opened up that ColourPop Cherries palette and pulled out this red today had it not been for that, and I feel like it's the perfect shade of like almost purpley red that I could have done. I'm really into this. Have you picked up yet that I'm really into this? I don't know if I've said it enough, but I'm really into this. So Kylie, take notes. That's gonna be everything for today. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe. There's always a lot more indie single shadow content and kind of like mindful consumption content on the way. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.